We are living in unprecedented times. No matter what industry you come from, we must all review, rethink, and reinvent ourselves. Are you an entrepreneur that is trying to adapt your business to the new norm? Well, you are listening to the 2020 Entrepreneur, a podcast that will motivate you and have you think outside of the box. My name is Hugo Almeida, and with over 30 years of being an entrepreneur, I am here to share and inspire you with my experiences and help invent a new you. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to our latest episode of T20E World. Today, I'm freaking ecstatic because I've got a guest with me at our studios here, Shane Kastl. Shane, say hello to everybody out there.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my honor, man. So a little bit about Shane, right? I hate to say this because I feel real old because Shane's 22 now, right?
Yes.
Student at Monmouth University. Awesome. I've watched Shane grow up over the years, and I've watched them take his steps into the world of entrepreneurship, which is why we have him here, because it's a perfect opportunity to grab the next future fashion guru and have him talk about have him share a little bit about his steps into entrepreneurship, why, some of his thoughts, and maybe some advice to everybody else. So Shane, talk to me a little bit about what is it that you're doing?
Well, I'll start like where I started with.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just like making logos and just animations on Adobe programs and stuff like that. And I liked wearing clothes, so I decided to take the designs onto clothes.
Awesome.
And at first, I was scared to put out clothes. I wasn't sure if how other people like that. But a lot of people liked it, and I saw people supporting early, and that's what gave me more drive to keep on doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny because I think you might have been right out of high school, beginning of college, right? And we were up on the deck. He was picking my brain. I was giving him some advice, and my advice is only so good, right? It goes only so far. The rest really depends on the individual. Shane took a little bit about my advice and just did his thing, man, and he made it work. So today we're going to talk about, how you got this to work. And I've watched the evolution of where you started, which was the brand As I Should, right?
Yeah, As I Should.
And today your brand is?
Shane Kastl.
Ah, that's awesome. So ShaneKastl.com, I believe, right? And Kastl with a K. So I think that is pretty cool. Listen, what exactly inspired you, though? I mean, I know you shared a little bit about, your steps and stuff and your Adobe and the design. I remember you used to do all these crazy logos, and they were always so cool. But really, what inspired you to just do it?
Probably, honestly, like, the designs I were making were, like, really cool, but, like, they were just on paper to me. And I was just like, what could I do with these? That more people could see them, or how could I make them, like, come alive?
Oh, wow, yeah. No, I remember your first logo. It was that eye.
Yeah.
The As I Should. I tell you, I still wear his beach shirts, As I Should, with the big eyeball on the back. And
it's vintage, vintage.
Totally cool. Oh, yeah, listen. I'm going to have you sign that.
Those are good.
But listen, one thing I didn't even share with everybody is not only is Shane Kastl a fashion designer, I mean, he's actually in our studio wearing one of his latest pieces, and I'm going to have him talk about this piece because it's actually really, really cool. I mean, super cool. But one thing I want to share with everybody that Shane don't like to talk about because he's just a modest entrepreneur like we all are, right? Shane is an athlete. He is a Division I athlete. And I want to also talk to you and ask you, Shane, share with everyone else, because there's a lot of athletes out there, not only athletes, but people that are in band, in cheerleading, whatever it may be. How did you manage your time? I know the amount of training you did when you were, getting ready to play a Division I ball. Soccer, by the way, our passion. But how did you handle everything? I mean, you had school, right? You had all your training for soccer that you had to do. That's a job in itself. And then I know that you launched your brand.
Yeah, it was like in the real beginning. I wasn't like when I was playing soccer at college, I wasn't exactly like making clothes then. I didn't have any clothes, but I was like focused on making designs. So, I mean, it honestly worked out that, I stopped playing soccer because I think I took all the time that I was using like towards soccer to start focusing on the brand.
So valuable comment that Shane just did, and it's one of our episodes. It's really respecting time, using and knowing how to understand the value of time. So rather than just wasting away some time, Shane took that time and applied it to entrepreneurship, which I think is freaking amazing. I also know, I know you have a fast-growing social media presence, right? And I know that your clothes has I've seen pictures on the internet of famous people. Share it with everybody. Some of the people that have actually worn your stuff.
All right, yeah. So like in the beginning, like with the As I Should stuff,
Yeah.
the first one was Ariana Grande.
Oh my God, I love her. Love
And,
her.
yeah, that's what honestly like really got me like maybe this could work out. Like
Actually, I remember that picture. That was the coolest
yeah,
thing.
and it was so crazy because like we didn't send it to her. It was given to Mac Miller,
Yeah.
and then they were dating Ariana Grande and Mac Miller at the time.
Okay.
But I was just looking forward to the Mac Miller picture, and then one day I just woke up. It was the day that she dropped her. I don't know what album was, but she dropped an album that day, and that's like the sweatshirt she wore for the album drop.
I think I remember this because I called him. It was Saturday morning. I had just heard about this, and I saw the picture as soon as I woke up, and I gave him a call, and he was just like, oh, he was ecstatic, which
Yeah, I remember it was like 20 minutes after I woke up, I got a call from you. I was like trying to focus on what you were saying, and my phone just kept on ringing.
yeah, it was, it was blowing up.
Yeah.
And what else? What about? I know that you're into like send out samples. I think to like famous rappers and stuff in the music business.
Now it's just I'm not like getting my clothes done by anyone, and I'm making everything by myself, like sewing it, cutting it, everything like that. So I'm on my own time. So now like basically a lot of the stuff I make is just recycled clothes from thrift shops, and I take like these are they're like flannels that you can get at thrift shop for like $2 a pop. And I resell like something like this for like 150. Wow. So a lot of the stuff is, that I send out to people, like you almost have to bite the bullet and just be like, because you don't know the one person that you send something to could, be the one that changed your life.
Who was that individual? I think it was some upcoming rapper that you worked all night on a piece and then drove it out to the city somewhere. I forget. You told me about this. You spent the whole night finishing all the stitching and then drove it out there.
Yeah, he's actually a comedian too, and it was in Patterson actually.
Oh, okay, in Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, it was cool.
So what's some? Give me some names. Drop some names right now, man.
Drop some names of people that worn my stuff. My latest, actually, I just said like pretty exciting is this rapper, SoundCloud rapper. He's like not that popular, but he still has like 300K followers on Instagram.
That's great.
His name's Fawny.
Okay.
He's got a big name, but I just know him by Fawny. Okay. But he just used one of my hoodies and a matching shorts in his new music video. So
that's awesome.
It was crazy, to see like just someone in a music video with my stuff on.
Oh, that's awesome. No doubt. Hey, listen, just out of curiosity, because I know you're still finishing up your last year, right? Over at the university, Monmouth University. But I know you're not studying stitching nor fashion design.
Yeah, definitely.
But how the heck did you teach yourself? Listen, I know many of you can't see what I'm looking at here, but this outfit Shane is wearing is impressive. I couldn't believe he was telling me that he made it from like 4 different flannels. If you're looking at this thing is freaking awesome. How the hell did you size it up, stitch it up, cut it up? I mean,
I would say I did. I only took 2 fashion classes. So when I came home from college, when I was playing soccer, I like took time off and really just thought what I wanted to do. And at the time, it was honestly I was doing the As I Should stuff only. And we contacted a manufacturer to make clothes. We paid for it, and it was like $800.
Oh,
and
that's crazy.
We ended up not getting what we paid for, because there was just like a argument with the fabric type. So I was just like, I'm done paying people to make my clothes. I'm just doing it by myself. So like the next semester at school, I took 2 fashion classes just at county here.
Yeah.
But it's very structured, and the teachers don't really give you that much freedom to do what you want to do.
Well, I gotta say, and I'm just gonna describe what I'm looking at here, but I'm telling you, these patterns that he has on his sleeve alone, it's flawless. So that's why I'm just asking you about this, because this looks like it came out of a professional production line. Now, this is handmade clothing.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. Honestly, like, I think it was a year ago it's going to be August 30th is when it's going to be like my 1 year of when I made my first hoodie.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I went to like this workshop in New York City. It was like an open workshop where you can just like sew. But it was for a guy's brand who's like pretty famous in New York. Just like, I don't know, just be around him. I just want to see what he does.
Yeah.
So I ended up like at the time, I didn't even know how to sew anything. So I just like made like squares that said like his brand name was called Kid Super.
Yeah.
So I just made 2 squares, and then I cut out just sweatshirt material, and it just had Kid Super on it. And he came up to me and he's like, so what are you going to make? Like, you only have like 2 panels. And I was just like, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. But I was so scared. And then I went home that night. I really thought about it. And I never made a sweatshirt before in my life.
Listen, like, this is something we kind of talk about, right? The fear. Because, and Shane, tell me if you agree with me. As a young entrepreneur, tell me right or wrong here. Fear is something much greater that's built up in your own mind than it really is. right or wrong?
No, definitely. And I feel like a lot of people are like almost afraid to do stuff.
Try it.
Yeah, because they care about what like other people think about it, and
No,
they're
listen,
afraid of like.
I mean, and this applies not only to the entrepreneurs out there that are launching new companies. Listen, first time you're taking a footstep on that pitch in a championship game, right or wrong, you got to be a little scared out there.
Definitely.
I mean, so it applies to everything we do in life. There's always that little bit of fear factor, but you got to learn, take that foot, step outside of that bubble of fear and do it. So that's awesome, Shane. I want to share with our listeners too, because I saw this on your website and I actually called you up about it, and I still want my 10 and a half size shoe here. He's got the greatest sneakers. You got to go to Shane Kastl. Is it on ShaneKastl.com?
Honestly, I stopped selling them right now, but you can still see them on my Instagram.
Sold out.
Yeah, no, I just need to take a break. It was at one point where I had like 30 pairs, and I had people like buzzing my line, and like
so
I hand draw all of them. So
these, oh my goodness, I wish I could just share with everybody the sneaker here itself. They're Nike wear or Adidas.
Yeah, they're just Air Force One lows.
Okay, and what it is you kind of give him an idea of the look, and he just takes it from there and designs it by hand, sketches out on the leather itself the coolest, most craziest designs. And I tell you, it's something I love. I will be purchasing, so you're going to have to come out of retirement just for the sneaker, size 10 and a half.
I think I have a pair of like 10 and a half just sitting in the box that I haven't drew on yet. So
all right, so I want T20E World all over them, little designs.
You got it. You got it.
I love it. I mean, this is something fascinating because I wanted him to share, I mean, all this talent that he has, and he's tried it all. I remember when he first launched it, how nervous you was, the cash flow issues, and all of a sudden I remember giving you a little bit of advice of, hey, listen, Shane, don't make an investment on small, medium, large, extra large, extra large, and all of a sudden you get stuck with a ton of inventory because you got to make sure inventory is constantly churning. Let me ask you this. How do you manage inventory now?
I make to order now. So
Beautiful.
I'll make one and just like a sample size, usually a size for me that I can, post me in it so people can actually see it on person. And from there, I just made to order. So if someone orders it, then I go get the material
and do it. I think that's great because, and I've seen the evolution again from when he began with As I Should, right? Yeah. Where you had a little bit of inventory of everything and every color. And I'll tell you, your clothing has always been top of the line. Trust me on this. I see all the shirts that you've put out. I felt them. I own some of them. My kids own some of them. The neighborhood owns some of them. And it's fine stuff. I'm not going to say it's the cheap stuff, but I'm going to say it's quality out there. So, and it's well priced. And I see the evolution because that's how he started with the inventory. Go out, go on his website, you place your order. He had the stock, you get it in a day or two. And all of a sudden now I've seen how unique his pieces are, which I love that. And I wanted to ask you though, so what's the goal, man? I mean, do you want to what? You want to differentiate yourself in the fashion industry? I mean, from just looking at the piece you're wearing, I still can't believe there's 4 flannel shirts into one here. That is so cool. But no, seriously, what's the goal here?
Honestly, I think about this a lot because just the amount of time that I put into one piece, I think it's going to be like very hard for me to, or even if I get a bigger following and a lot of people start buying my clothes, I'm going to be like backed up and I'm the only one making it. So obviously my goal is to get bigger because I want to make money.
Yeah.
And I guess get to the point where I'm hiring people to do my stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I really want to take it to like
another level,
a higher level. I don't want to be just sitting or me doing it all the time. Because as much as I do like enjoy like making the pieces, forming them together.
Sure.
It's just I could just like the idea maker and have someone else do it.
There's no business where the owner isn't the master of everything. I mean, because he's done it from the ground up, right? So obviously the next level would be, right, to take your ideas, your vision, you overlook all the work, and everybody's under your supervision. So that's how everybody begins, Yeah. Everybody starts by doing what I always call the grind, right? We grind. We do it all night long, however long it takes. We put out that piece, and, it pays off. It pays off. So listen, Shane, if I'm going to close up here and I ask you one last question, and this is going to be something coming from a student, Division I athlete, an entrepreneur, what would be that one advice to somebody that is looking to just try something new? What would the advice be?
I would say to be like, patient. Don't rush. or don't expect things to happen overnight. I feel like a lot of people, they start something, they expect immediate results. Like they want the result that they picture in their head, and it's not always like that. Just understanding that stuff takes time, and like you'll see it even if it's not immediately.
Freaking awesome advice. I mean, the crazy thing is, here I am talking, I'm 54 now, right? I'm talking to 22-year-old young man, entrepreneur with that type of advice. He is dead on. He's nailed it. Great advice, Shane, and thank you for sharing that with all of our listeners. I just want to say thanks again to all our listeners as we have Shane Kastl here. And Shane, one more time, your website?
Just ShaneKastl.com.
And they can follow you on what now?
Instagram.
On Instagram, just under Shane Kastl?
Yeah, Shane Kastl, you type it in, it's just like the one at the top.
Awesome. I want to see that thing explode in the next 24 hours. Anyway, Shane, thanks again, buddy. I greatly appreciate it. And to all our listeners, thank you all once again. And I hope you found value in this, right? Another entrepreneur, young 22-year-old, young man, athlete, student, entrepreneur. T20E World, this is Shane Kastl and Hugo, and we are out.